Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we'll take a look at the 1996 Nissan 180 SX Type X. Our third and final 180 SX to take on the course. I would mention all of them, but they all are called basically the same thing. This one is the only one of them to run race mod because all three of them share the same race mod, and this one is the quickest of the bunch. So for visual flair, the rest of them didn't run it, but this one is running it. It's an okay looking race mod. It comes in white or this lilac. I like it other than the rear wing, and I have just noticed there is two exhaust cutouts when there is only one exhaust. That is very annoying. But yeah, other than that, it's cool. It's sort of got the original car, or rather this updated 96 version's body kit, bodywork, as opposed to the 95, which doesn't have this. And the fake BBS wheels are quite nice as well. Yeah, these are sort of performing okay for front-engined rear-drive sports coupes. In general, I find they're slightly nicer to drive than the Silvias, but they haven't quite got the power of the Silvias, so I guess we'll see how this one gets along. Front engine rear wheel drive, 377 horsepower, 1,088 kilos. Yeah, pretty okay stats for a rear wheel drive coupe. A bit on the lighter side of things, it does have to be said, but yeah. I've also just noticed that sort of front bonnet thing, the one that says 180SX Nissan, that looks JPEG to hell. Obviously it won't be, in terms of this car's textures. That would actually be a very easy one to sort of clean up and sort out, as someone who now does a small spot of GT2 modding, but yeah, I say GT2 modding, I do texture editing. Anyways, to find out how this car is going to get along, it is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track and runs at the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Suzuki Scudo Pikes Peak version. That car's at a time of 25.696, and this car won't be beating that. In terms of where this is going to go, they're all fairly linear. The 96... the 95 Type X, which is the pre-facelift one of these, the sort of normal looking wedgy one, that set a time like a 31.4, the Type S set a time of a 31.057, so this one, with the slightly increased power and the racing modification, should be able to go a little bit quicker than that. The one thing I didn't check before this episode, which I really should have done, is Slatey performance, because the Slatey is sort of similar to this. Very sort of obviously different racing mod, and I think the Slatey is more powerful than the 180SX is, but ultimately a Slatey is just a 180SX with a Sylvia front clip, so yeah. Bit of struggles getting through that first section. There's definitely time in this. Is it supposed to be exhaust, or is it supposed to be like a exhaust and then they've like covered it up and put towing eye cover in it? It's a bit bizarre, this race mod. In terms of actual overall driving ability, this is fine. It's got sort of, we touched on this a little bit with DB7 yesterday. It has got that weird rear-wheel drive quirk of sort of slamming on the brakes, and then the rest of the car sort of seems to violently swing round and then attempt to cut traction on you, but other than that, it is a fairly okay driving sports coupe, it does have to be said. It wouldn't be my first choice for anything. 30.423, okay, we've got the Sylvia thing going on. For those of you who don't know what the Sylvia thing going on is, it's that very recently around this track, something just sort of seems to have clicked with Sylvias, and they now go ridiculously fast. I'm not quite sure why. Yeah, I mean the lap felt good. I don't think it felt 0.6 good. I mean we'll take it, but yeah. Maybe don't put too much stock in that. 30.843, see, that's far more reasonable for this car. Although that lap was messy. That actually puts it in a really interesting place. Yeah, bizarre. That keeps happening at the moment. I don't really know why. And it keeps worrying me because it makes me wonder if, like, every other you know, if for like 400 episodes I couldn't drive Sylvias, and now all of a sudden I just apparently can get ridiculous lap times out of them. It's a bit disconcerting, I will be honest. I'm not a huge fan of it, and I really wish I'd stopped doing it. But I'm here to get the quickest lap time out of all the cars, and apparently we've done it. I don't think there's much more time in that, to be honest. You know, as someone who's just set the stomper of the lap time, of course I'm going to say that. But yeah, I don't think there's much more I can see coming out of that, to be honest. Yeah, not bad overall, I do have to say. A 30.423 will place this into 246th place. Goes in between the Toyota Aristo and the Nissan Silvia Qs. So it is slightly quicker than Silvia Qs. Silvia Qs actually was very similar statistically to this from what I remember. So that does definitely make sense. Quicker than the A4 Avant, Mitsubishi GTO SR, FTO GPX, Legnum VR4, Mugen Integra. Cars this is comparable to. It's 0.1 up on a non-race modded Silvia Spec R, quicker than the NA Nissan Fairlady Lexus IS200. Yeah, I mean it's reasonably quicker than the Silvia Spec S as well. Yeah, I don't don't know why I keep saying really good times in Silvias, but it keeps happening. There's more Silvias to come, so at least one of the S13, S14, S15s are going to get that rub. But yeah, I can't really explain that. I'm not going to lie to you. In case you're curious, that does mean that this is almost 2 seconds quicker than the HKS Drag 180SX, in case you was curious. So yeah, that's interesting. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I will be driving something completely different and hopefully just as surprising. Until then, farewell.